I was in the Navy. I was sworn in the 7th of April, 1942, and got out to Christmas Eve in 45. I was an electrician's mate. I went through boot camp in San Diego, and after boot camp I got to go to electrical school in Los Angeles at Chapman College. From there I went to Pearl Harbor, and I was stationed at IEA Naval Barracks around there for a while, in the Wahiawa Fleet Radio Station in Wahiawa. Then I got sent to Midway Island for a year. I was Midway, but I was attached to the Naval Operating Base, and of course had the sub base there and the air station, and I was at Defense Marines. After my tour at Midway, I came back to Pearl and was there a little while, and I got a chance to go for new construction, they call it. Was to be assigned to a ship. I'd never been assigned to a ship before, and part of the deal too was I got 30-day leave, and I'd never had a leave since I'd been in, so I got to come home. And after 30 days, I went back to Treasure Island in California. Everybody in the Pacific went through Treasure Island, of course, and I went down to Ulithi, which was a big anchorage about 200 miles southwest of Guam, and that's where I went aboard the Menominee. And we went from there to Guam and picked up a floating dry dock and took it over to Tinian and unloaded some dredging equipment, and we came back to Guam and on to Okinawa. And of course at Okinawa we were helping with different things, and the kamikazes were still pretty active there, and we helped the Schuberg destroyer there that got hit, and we'd helped to get the torpedo tubes off that were jammed, and some of the guys went aboard and helped them do things, and we just did work like that. And then we went on a couple of minesweeping trips at Okinawa. We went with 10 minesweepers, and we were the tug and we were the rescue with them. But I don't know if you've ever seen a mine or a picture of it. They cut them loose and they come to the surface and they shoot at them to explode them. And that's part of what our gunners did there, and 10 days at a time. And that was after that first one. Well, then we came back to Buckner Bay at Okinawa, and the Japanese offered to surrender on the 11th, and everybody kind of relaxed, I guess. And then the 12th of August, we didn't accept, however, we were going to, and they sent a torpedo plane and put one in the battleship Pennsylvania and damaged it. And we worked on that one for a couple of days and pumped some flooded compartments out of it. And I wondered whatever happened to it, and found out later that it was taken to Guam, and it was in the H-bomb tests in the Pacific and Bikini. And after they were holding us up there because we were supposed to go on another minesweeping trip, and it was around the west side of Okinawa and further north, and I don't know whether they were Japanese mines or whether they were our mines, but they knew they were there anyway. We didn't, the enlisted men didn't know it, but anyhow, they got a lot of them that time, and we were in that operation when actually the war was over. And all the ships fired everything off one side, and then they made a 180-degree turn and fired everything off the other side, and then we got back there, and we were there in a little while, and then we had a couple of typhoons at Okinawa. The first one we rode out at anchor, but then the next one they sent us out to sea, and it was 3 or 4 days out there that we were. When we finally settled down, we found out where we were, and we brought a hotel bar, as they called it, that had broken loose from its buoy, and they didn't have any power. We had to be told, you know, so we told them back in, and they were really tickled to see us. And we stayed and worked around Okinawa until October, when we came home and sent us home. And we towed a merchant ship to Inuiatok and dropped it there, and then home to Pearl Harbor. After the war was over, all the ships during the war were dark blue, or camouflage ours, but they changed over to battleship gray, they called it, ours. On the way from Okinawa to Weetalk and on to Pearl Harbor, they took all that blue paint off and painted light gray. So, and we stopped over in Weetalk. We were there for a couple of days, I guess, and on Pearl Harbor over there. Oh, we got a Liberty there, and that was quite a change. When I'm stationed there, that everything at night was blacked out, you know, and then the lights were all on in Honolulu. And we got a Liberty in Honolulu. And then from that week, we went on to San Francisco, and I had enough points to get out when we got to San Francisco. And they had a point system that was, you got 1 point for your age, and a point for each month in the service, and a point for each month overseas. And the guys that were married got 10 points for being married, but I had enough overseas points and points in the Navy, I was ready to get out of San Francisco. And I think I was ready to get out then. We came on a train, of course, then to St. Louis, and got out in St. Louis. Curtis Brown and Gene Absher and I got out together in St. Louis. We took the train to Sedalia, and it was Christmas Eve, and big snowstorm. We caught a taxi to bring us to Marshall. Of course, I lived out in the country then, the folks did. And I had an uncle who lived here in town. I stayed all night with him that night, and then got home on Christmas Day.